Everybody, it's DearMamaSal on a beautiful Tuesday morning. Today we are going to be talking a bit about regrouping, and just to start off, as usual, I just want to tell you it's 7 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which would be about 45 degrees in American. Regrouping is a really important part of your day. It's not just after a loss or after a shock or whatever. I'm a great believer that regrouping is part of your day. If you could get into the habit of regrouping, things would not fester, I think is the word. You know, you wouldn't have as much hate, you wouldn't have as much resentment, you wouldn't have as much feeling about stuff if you could just practice regrouping. Now, this is not easy to do, and I want to start by saying that because I know that to be true, but it is an important part of making your days happier. And I want to preface this by saying in no way do I want to suggest that grieving should be over in a day and you should just regroup and move on. No, that is not what I'm getting at all. What I'm looking at, because so many of our viewers did feel the loss of a fellow viewer, that I just want to sort of spend a few days just giving some more coping mechanism, just in case I can help somebody. Because if I can help just one person, it would be worth it. But the other thing is that each of these things is useful in our daily lives, even if we haven't had a major loss. So regrouping is about sort of shifting your mind. I think that would be the easiest way to describe it. Let me give you a practical example of that. Which is that I went to the doctor yesterday, and you know that I've been having a couple of symptoms that has had me a little bit concerned. And the doctor tried to suggest that my symptoms were due to possibly sleep apnea. And everything in my body tells me that is not true. Now, I can hang on to that and get angry, or I can play the game and go through the monitor test that they do, the 24-hour monitor test, and show him that that's not true. So you understand, I have choices. Or, what if he's right? I'm pretty darn sure he isn't, but what if he's right? So, before I got too tied up with it emotionally, I started to think how difficult it must be to be a doctor. That was my regrouping. Can you imagine sitting there and you've got all sorts of different people giving you the vaguest clues of what's wrong with them? Think about what you say to a doctor. You know, when I was thinking about it, and I don't know why it made me chuckle, because it's like, I said to him, I don't know how to describe this in medical terms. So he said, well, try describing it in your own. And I said, okay, fine. And as soon as I started to describe it, he corrected me. And I'm trying to think what it was. It was the difference between dizzy and something else. I want to say wobbly, but I don't think it was. It was something else. Dizzy and lightheaded. There we are. The difference between the two. So now, when you're busy trying to describe something and you get corrected in the first couple of sentences, it doesn't make you want to rush to carry on talking. Because now, what if I get the rest of the things wrong as well? Anyway, I did my best. And part of me goes, I'm not sure I did a good job. Because I'm pretty sure that the symptoms I have are not sleep related. Now, could I get angry? Well, yeah, I could get angry. But I don't think it's an anger thing. I just don't think that this is correct. So I've got a choice, and this is what I always tell you. That we have choices. Let's have a look at what our choices are. The choices would be that I could go and get a second opinion from somebody. I could get really angry. I could feel unheard. I could, there are lots of things. But I don't feel that this morning. I feel like, okay, fine. It's a pretty morning. I choose to regroup and get on with my life as best I can and be grateful for it. Now, I don't know if this makes any sense to anybody. I hope so. Every day we choose which mindset we want to be in. Now, there are some times when the emotion can be overwhelming. I understand it. I have had those days, believe you me. But a lot of people ask me, gosh, how do you have your attitude on life? And my attitude on life comes from years of doing it the wrong way. Well, I'm not sure if my attitude on life is through that. But I used to get so sucked up with my emotions. And I would waste days and weeks and months dwelling on my emotions. And I'm going to tell you what changed it for me, and I just don't want anybody to take this as disrespectful in any way of what you may be going through. It was the day I realized two things. Number one, that dwelling on the emotion was very selfish. It's all about me. Whether I'm sad or angry it's all about me. So I can go to work sad, and I can make a lot of other people sad. I could tell them all sorts of sad stories about my experience, and other people will be sad momentarily, or depending on how much they care about me. So the number one thing was to realize that a lot of emotion is very selfish. The second thing that I realized was how much time I wasted with it. And unfortunately for me, the third thing I realized was that it didn't change anything. So once I understood for myself those three things, I could regroup. I could teach myself how to regroup. So, and you have to do a lot of self-talk when you regroup. I don't know if any of you are aware of that strategy. So I can sit there and go, oh, it's so sad. Yes, it is. But you can choose how long to cry for. And I can remember, for example, the expression, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. And there's a difference between the two. Suffering is when we elongate the time. when we use it as our excuse for not doing stuff or whatever. And you know, I totally understand this because I used to do it so much.